Well, in part one, we covered soft baits and what they look like, the different shapes and jig heads. In part two, we looked at rods, reels and lines, and now part three, it's time to put it all together out on the water. I'm going to show you some really specific retrieves that I find work really well, but keep in mind there's a few things you need to know. Firstly, the retrieves are up to you. You have to do it. I can't stand next to you and show you, so it needs to look good to you. And the other one is to slow down. Slowing down your retrieve does a lot of good things for you, especially when you're using a Berkley soft bait, because they're full of that scent, and the more scent in the water, the more attraction that it has. Slowing down will give you that option. My name is Adam Royter. Welcome to part three of Berkley's soft baiting basics. So you've been to your local tackle store and you've spoken to the staff and they've given you an idea of where you're headed and what you're likely to catch. You've sorted out your soft baits, you've got your rod, reel and line ready to go. It's time to start thinking about retrieves. But before you can retrieve something in, you need to make it go out. So just a really quick demonstration on how to cast. The line comes off the roller. Okay, that's why we need our index finger to be right underneath it. The easiest way to do it is to do the old Star Trek handshake. So 2 fingers on either side of the reel stem like that. Close them, thumb on the top, and then with your index finger you'll grab the line, open the bail, and then you're good to cast. You put the rod back, put the rod forward and release with the index finger, and your soft bait will fire out into the water, and that's what you need to do. Let's have a look at the first retrieve, the lift and jig. The lift and jig retrieve is one of the basics, but it's also one of the most commonly used for soft bait fishing, simply because it works with a whole host of different shapes and weights. You can do it with the lightest of outfits, you can do it with the heaviest of outfits, whether you're trying to catch a tiny fish or a big fish. It is by far the most popular. This is how it goes. You've cast out. You can let your lure hit the bottom if that's where your fish are. You might not. They might be up near the surface. Either way, the retrieve is the same. So we're going to hop the rod tip, and it's about aggressively but shortly moving the hand, because don't forget the rod tip's 7 foot further down the line, so it's moving a lot more. So we're talking about very short, sharp, aggressive hand movements down here, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, up to nearly 90 degrees up in the sky, and then 2 or 3 turns of the reel handle drops the rod tip back to the water. It's important to have your rod tip on the water with this, and then hop, 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 2 or 3 turns of the handle back down, and you do that all the way back to yourself. That is the lift and jig retrieve, a proper classic. Next is the shake and retrieve. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's very similar to patting your tummy and rubbing your head at the same time. You need to do 2 different things with either hand. And it doesn't matter if you're a left-handed caster or a right-handed caster, it's the same either way. So you've cast your lure out, and then you just start shaking that rod tip with the index finger up. The grip helps a little bit. Shake the rod tip and turn the handle at the same time. You can turn it fast or turn it slow or turn it in between. The idea is to keep that lure coming back towards you constantly whilst sending vibrations down the line. This retrieve works really well in front of you in the water. You can really get a good idea of what that soft bait looks like swimming in the water. The next retrieve doesn't use much rod action at all. It's all about the reel, and this is why I said in one of the earlier clips that having a good gearbox is important, because this one turns the gears quite hard and quite fast. It's the burn and kill retrieve. So what we're talking about is we're talking about burning the lure through the water very quickly and then stopping. So that lure will wind very fast and then fall, and then wind very fast and fall, and it works in a sort of up-down triangle shaped motion. If your lure has any inbuilt action, like a single curl tail, this is a really good retrieve because it makes that lure look like a little bait fish that's scared and fleeing from a predator. So it's a really, really good retrieve to use, and you do it from the length that you've cast all the way back to the rod tip. Now, the book of retrieves is maybe 100 pages long. I'm up to page 1 myself. It's all about you. The retrieves that you do, you need to be comfortable with. You need to watch that lure in the water as it comes up towards you. Whether you're fishing out of a boat or from the shore or from a pier, you can see the lure as it comes up towards you. It's important that you watch it and make sure you know what it looks like, because that's what the fish is going to see. If you need to know any more about Berkley soft baits, visit berkley-fishing.com.au. Well, I hope you enjoyed that 3-part series on soft bait fishing basics. We did take you right from the very start, from selecting the right soft bait to the rod, reel and line, and then gave you some retrieves. My name is Royter. Good luck with your newfound sport of soft bait angling.